Tzu Chi volunteers have been helping the affected residents walk out of the shadows. In 500 years, blockchain technology is believed capable of eliminating third-party services. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Chen. Thank you for joining us. 4 years have passed since the Kaohsiung gas explosion incident that shattered many people's lives. In the aftermath, Tzu Chi volunteers have been holding prayer ceremonies and/or tea gatherings each year to calm the survivors' minds. Let's learn more about what Tzu Chi volunteers have been doing to help the affected residents walk out of the shadows.
The borough chief and residents have come to Tzu Chi's tea gathering at Linchun Borough. The burn survivor of gas explosions in Kaohsiung shares his experience.
Back then, Tzu Chi volunteers accompanied my mother.
The experiences of Chen, who has walked out of the shadows, deeply touched the borough residents who live in the gas explosion area. For the affected residents, August 1st is a day they don't want to remember. Therefore, for 4 years, Tzu Chi volunteers hold prayer ceremonies or tea gatherings on this sensitive day.
Since there are a lot of seniors, we work with the borough chief to hold activities for the elderly.
Besides holding activities for the seniors, the volunteers also go to schools in the gas explosion area. The volunteers give out books to schools and promote Jinx aphorisms. In addition, DaAi mothers also accompany the students in elementary and high schools. Besides the students, the police and firefighters also need care. Delivering vegetarian zhongzi, the volunteers interact with the police, firefighters, and their families, winning their trust.
We are just like a family. If they have difficulties or needs, they will contact us.
The residents often seek help from Tzu Chi volunteers. For 4 years since the Kaohsiung gas explosions, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to provide love and care to help the residents walk out of the shadows.
What happened in Kaohsiung was devastating, but something positive came out of that incident. It has raised the public's awareness of the safety of petrochemical pipelines. Kaohsiung City Bureau of Cultural Affairs has even presented installation arts to commemorate the incident. It also was there to remind the public not to forget the costly lesson we had to learn.
After the gas explosion, the hard card cases had become fragile like paper. The pipes were like clay, which has been twisted. All these remind people of the gas explosions 4 years ago.
It was shaking like this, and I thought it was an earthquake. Then I smelled smoke.
Rocks fell down and scraps were sprayed into our house. Then there was an explosion. All the pipes seemed to have turned red.
Red seems to be the color people can remember of the gas explosions. Having lived on Sandor Road for nearly 40 years, Mr. Lin and his wife recall how the experience has a human touch to it.
In the aftermath of the gas explosion, many people learned about the news through watching TV. Before noon that day, within 12 hours, we received 100 phone calls from people who cared about us.
The Kaohsiung gas explosions has been through the destruction, healing, and rebuilding phases. The characters in the stories hope their stories can touch the audiences.
We thought that we had to save some items that could become public art to commemorate the incident. They might be used in museums. Therefore, the Bureau of Cultural Affairs dispatched people to collect items that could be used to commemorate the incident. They quickly collected them.
所以我们将这些扭曲跟变形的建物跟受伤的民众的身体变成一张一张由和纸所构成的这些纸片，再把它张落到我们的空间里面来。
At the intersection of Sando and Kaohsiung roads, there are installation arts to commemorate the gas explosions. Not only do we want to keep in mind the lessons brought by the gas explosions, we also want to remember the affected residents.
In Malaysia, the Tzu Chi Langkawi Liaison Office invited Muslim care recipients to celebrate Al-Fitra together. They all felt really accepted by the volunteers and shared many of their personal stories.
On the day of the ad distribution held by Tzu Chi Liaison Office, volunteers invited residents who receive help to share how education changed their destiny.
If we want to build wealth, we need the help of knowledge. After I told my children not to expect my property, they start to reflect on their lives. They realize knowledge is an eternal treasure, and money will be used up someday.
I want to thank the Tzu Chi family for providing financial support for my nephew's tuition fees. No matter how difficult my life is, I will do what I can to help them go to school.
This day was the Eid al-Fitr Muslim holiday. Everyone sees the chance to carry out the acts of giving by donating coin banks.
I put some money into the coin bank every day. Since we have received help from Tzu Chi in our time of need, now we want to reciprocate Tzu Chi's love. This way, volunteers can help more people who are suffering.
As the annual gathering, everyone feels very warm as they have received sincere love and care from volunteers.
Tae Kwon is a third grader in Yongkang Elementary School in Nantou, who is also the youngest winner of the Filial Piety Award this year. Her father had a stroke a year ago, and she has shouldered all the responsibilities. On top of that, she has also performed well academically. Her maturity and filial acts have deeply touched everyone's hearts.
8-year-old Tae Kwon is not much taller than the wheelchair, but she still takes her father out every day for rehabilitation. Her father walks in the front and she follows closely with the wheelchair, fearing that her father will suddenly fall. When they return home, she soon starts to boil water and wipe the table. Since her father had a stroke a year ago, she has been caring for his daily needs.
She has never been naughty or asked me to buy her anything.
She has never complained about anything, and she has not fallen behind in school. While her classmates are having fun during summer vacation, she stays home to take care of her father.
I hope my father can get well soon.
Children at her age usually go to cram school or play around during the summer, but she keeps an optimistic mind and stays at home to take care of her father. It's genuinely touching.
Tae Kwon is the youngest winner of the Filial Piety Award this year. Her maturity and filial acts are indeed an inspiration for everyone.
Aortic valve stenosis is a common degenerative cardiovascular disease in the elderly. In the past, the only surgical options were open chest surgery to replace the heart valves, but only about a third of the patients are qualified to undergo this high-risk procedure. Many patients' physical conditions, such as having a weak immune system or other health complications, make this diagnosis an instant death sentence for the individual. Fortunately, with the advancement of technology, there are now many minimally invasive surgical procedures that can be used to save the patient's life. 81-year-old Ms. Tae will cough and be out of breath from any slight movement. She has been hospitalized many times, and the only response that she kept on getting was, without surgery, her life would end at any time.
At a time, I would be coughing during my sleep. I would get up and go sit in the living room. Then I would start to feel out of breath. If it gets better, then I will head back to bed. If I start to cough again, then I will have to sit up once more. I thought about how it would be easier if I just ended my life like this, because I don't want to be a burden on my children.
The heart is like a life pump for the body. The blood is transported to the whole entire body through the aorta. The aortic valve is key in keeping the blood flow running smoothly. However, as we age, the aortic valve will gradually start to calcify, become more narrow, and decrease blood flow. Common symptoms are chest pain, sudden asthma attacks, and finally, it will develop into full-blown heart failure. The survival rate of patients is less than 2 years, but you may go into cardiac arrest at any time.
The opening to the heart valves is very small, causing the blood flow to be restricted. However, in her case, it's even worse. She already has pulmonary edema and symptoms of heart failure. When there's a severe case of aortic stenosis without surgery, it cannot be repaired on its own.
For patients with severe aortic stenosis, like Ms. Tae, the prosthetic valve replacement procedure is the only option in saving their lives.
We always try to use the most minimally invasive methods. Her point of entry has a less than 1 centimeter incision. It's very small, and this also helps in speeding up her post-op recovery process.
The transcatheter aortic valve replacement procedure does not need to open the thoracic resection of the diseased valve, as long as the prosthetic valve stent is deflated into the catheter. Penetrating from the femoral artery with the help of an advanced imaging X-ray machine, the surgeon is able to accurately position the artificial aortic valve stent. When successfully placed and expanded, this will immediately restore the normal valve opening size. The operation can all be done under local anesthesia in less than 2 hours. The incision site is less than 1 centimeter wide, which gives it a faster recovery time. This also greatly reduces operation risk and later complications.
After the procedure, the patient would need to be on anticoagulant medication to prevent any infections. Whether it's a tooth extraction or cleaning teeth at the dental office, it's crucial to let the dentist know that you've had your heart valve changed.
The World Health Organization stated that cardiovascular diseases are the #1 culprit for human mortality worldwide. It also can easily lead to many other dangerous health complications and long-term chronic issues. It's highly recommended that people maintain a normal weight, control blood pressure, blood glucose, and cholesterol levels on a regular basis. If any abnormalities are found, such as chest tightness, chest pain, palpitations, acute asthma, and dizziness spells, one should seek immediate medical attention. It is imperative to protect the heart. A professor at National Taiwan University believes that blockchain technology will be the biggest revolution in 500 years. He believes the change will eliminate third-party services by creating a new mechanism for ensuring trust. What a concept!
个人认为呢，是这500年突破式创新的一个突破。
区块链这个技术，我们有机会能够做到点对点之间的交易。我们希望用区块链技术来让各行各业这个经营者可以赚到更多的钱。
因为我觉得虚拟货币以后是一个趋势，又能够兼顾保护还有安全性，所以区块链变成是一个很好的解答。
Suppose you put these 6 people together passing along transactions. Soon these good people could be overtaken.
Working with graduate students on how good people can protect themselves from bad guys is NTU Computer Science Associate Professor Lao Siwei, who worked for Google for 22 years, helping them develop the Android system. He later returned to Taiwan to study blockchain technology.
In principle, trust is what is most important for international transactions, and blockchain is able to do this, which prevents exploitations by third parties.
What do they mean when they're discussing third parties? For example, banks are third parties. Most people put money in banks. Whether they are transferring money or remittances, they rely on banks to handle these transactions in exchange for bank fees. They often spend a lot of time processing a sum of money. If the bank is attacked by hackers, their money in this bank will also be affected.
The history of mankind is quite long, and finally we have had a breakthrough where you don't have to put faith into a trust company, but actually a trust machine or mechanism.
The so-called trust mechanism is the new blockchain technology. For example, A transfers 100 NT dollars to B, B transfers to D, and D transfers money to C. If A says the money I gave to C is $150, B, C, D can all read the computer record to see the amount is 100 NT dollars. So A can be told the transaction is wrong, as only 100 NT dollars were transferred to C.
I saw that it can help Taiwan in many areas. At the moment, most people around the world still don't know how to use blockchain.
For example, KK Farm has introduced a mechanism for music publishing copyrights without the need for going through a record company. This was done to overcome some of the problems encountered by those who make music. Using some 6 different instruments is music producer Jerry C., who hit a hit song 12 years ago called Canon Rock, now has dedicated himself to songwriting.
If they accept your album, then for one song, you might get $1 for your music copyright.
It was easy to sell millions of records in the early days, though music copyright can be very complicated because there's a composer, lyrics, and singers. For this reason, many go through different companies to help sell and distribute the profits received. But after deducting management fees from so many companies, very little money gets returned to the music creator.
Copyright companies are more likely to utilize royalty fees, as they can get between 10 to 40%.
After an intermediary takes a cut, the artist only receives 0.6 NT$ per song. After the rise of the internet, a record company helped Jerry upload the theme song for a movie, A Little Happiness, which gained 170 million views and allowed him to earn a royalty of $6,500, which is equal to 0.00117 NT$ per view.
I think the problem of royalty and copyright actually isn't very open or transparent.
The music industry in the early days of records would pay $1 NT$ royalty for a song on an album, but after deducting the intermediary service fees, the artist would only get 0.6 NT$. With the rise of the internet, one view only pays 0.00117 NT$, and pirate versions or usage pays nothing. KK Farm's blockchain technology platform allows musicians to upload music. As long as someone clicks it, the creator can receive a royalty fee of 0.1 NT$.
We have a smart contract which indicates how the money is split and when the income is coming in. These smart contracts can show how much you earn.
Opening this web page, the artist can choose whether to upload the song to different platforms, such as KKBox or QQ Music. The number of clicks can be seen quickly at a glance, as this process is transparent.
They have done a lot of work to allow us musicians to survive, as most of our revenue is still from royalties.
Musicians are working with multiple platforms to publish their works. Though it always seems that copyright and royalty continues to be a difficult challenge.
The prayer ceremony of the auspicious 7th lunar month will be hosted from August 3rd to 5th at the Kaohsiung Jinx Hall. The Jinx drum team will be performing at the event as well. A couple has temporarily left their bakery business to coach full-time in hopes to instill the value of dedication in the youth.
Chen had participated in disaster relief after the massive earthquake in Nepal in 2015. Back in Taiwan, her husband Lin Wei-yang always joins hands with her to do charity work. The couple always bakes cake for charitable fundraisers. 2 years ago, they were invited to participate in a drum performance. Since then, they've been leading the Jinx drum team and hosting a book club and Buddhist script copying class for a group of young people. How were these young people motivated to appreciate these activities?
One of the script copying class members posted his script on Facebook and received many compliments for his handwriting. He posted that the script he wrote has allowed more people to read Buddhist scripts.
They encourage these young people to show their talents and use their creativity. They even practice drums at the beach. However, leading the drum team has consumed most of their time, so they closed the bakery half a year ago temporarily.
Whether it's the bakery or the drum team, both coincide with our main goal, which is doing good deeds. Therefore, we think we should seize the chance to do what's the most meaningful when we are still young.
Other volunteers and my father-in-law all told me that it's not easy to lead a group of young people, so we tried our best to keep them passionate and motivated.
The couple has become full-time volunteers to lead the drum team. They hope these young team members can show their filial piety and compassion through their performance in the prayer ceremony.
Kuala Lumpur Jinx Hall in Malaysia often has groups of visitors curious about what Tzu Chi Foundation is all about. Singapore's Tzu Chi DaAi Gallery has been a huge success in conveying Tzu Chi's missions and spirit in the country. So that's why the creators especially teamed up with the Malaysian team to create a Jinx exposition hall. It's now officially open to the public.
The goal is for the Jinx Hall to play an essential role in connecting with the society.
It's been 52 years that Tzu Chi Foundation has been aiding humanity worldwide. For the Kuala Lumpur branch, it has been 25 years as well. Located in the capital, Kuala Lumpur, Jinx Hall is now equipped with a Jinx Exhibition Hall.
A never ending learning process in Tzu Chi. And then from there, then we'll be able to relate it out to the visitors, and that is where we can actually really get them to come in to join us.
Using black and white as the main colors, complemented by the cultural relic displays. Every inch of the space is not only about Tzu Chi, but also documents the footprints of great love worldwide.
It's meant to be a quiet atmosphere that speaks volumes in terms of Dharma. Our goal is to let the visitors walk out with a cultivated mind. We hope they'll be able to both find a direction and meaning in their lives.
From preparation to completion, the Jinx Exhibition Hall took 2 years to come to fruition. In addition to a group of dedicated local volunteers, there was also the guidance from the Singapore couple, Ma Pen Sin and Xiao Ben Lan.
Although everyone is separated by different time and space, but we're all doing the same thing. We're planning, preparing, and designing from all various aspects. I think this process is the most precious.
Most of the display items mostly came from the recycling stations and/or donations from the public. It's with great hope that visitors not only learn about the history of the Tzu Chi Foundation, but also will inspire them to do good deeds for society. As an early celebration of Father's Day, New Taipei City's Tzu Chi Danshui office has held a musical concert. The volunteers invited fathers to watch performances and also asked children to make cards to express their gratitude for their fathers.
The students of the sign language class performed to express their gratitude toward their fathers. Piano and guzheng performances were also presented at this concert. Danshui Tzu Chi volunteers especially planned this segment to celebrate Father's Day.
This is a rare opportunity. Sometimes our families might not even celebrate the occasion. Therefore, it is great to be able to join everyone here.
Besides listening to music, the participants also made cards together. Zhou Guiquan, who came with his wife and 4 daughters, received 5 cards in total.
Thank you everyone. These are my favorite cards. There are 5 unique cards.
Another father who has come to the Tzu Chi office for the first time also felt deeply touched by the event.
I feel deeply touched by the event. My 2 babies made cards for me. This concert has touched my heart.
More than 140 participants attended the event. Everyone who came to celebrate Father's Day together felt a closer bond to their loved ones.
In Suzhou, China, a parent-child activities camp was held at the Tzu Chi grounds. Under the scorching sun, adults and children plucked grass together, and they also learned about the importance of loving Mother Earth. Thank you for watching, and stay green.